Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing you this legal document to complain that the live stream is not yet on Patreon. What the? Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Handyman Business YouTube channel. This channel is about making money, making more money, making lots of money in the future. And if money offends you, this is not the place for you. Go find someplace else to. The live stream is in progress. If you were there for the live stream, you know why it needed to be cleaned up a little bit. Handyman, I'm thinking about getting a tool trailer, kind of like yours, a 6x12 V-nose. Should I get 2 axles or 1 axle? Definitely go with 2. I have had a lot of problems with the 1 axle. I've had broken leaf springs and I've bottomed out, boom, and bent the frame. Still in progress. I got a new axle and new leaf springs right outside the workshop door. I'm gonna have to cut the frame in half, straighten it, re-weld it, re-put new springs on and a new axle. It's going sprung under instead of sprung over to lift it up off the ground a little bit. Make my trailer hitch angle a little bit more normal. Got another question. Someone says, hey, Handyman, what are you doing about health insurance? You got so many injuries and you're always getting sick because of your kids. As you can tell, I got a little sniffle right now. It's the first week of school and they brought back the snot. So I've been dealing with that. So what do you do about health insurance? You marry a woman with a good job and a good health care plan. My wife is down to part-time, if you want to call it that, 2 days a week, and we've had to pay extra to maintain that health insurance policy for the family. Believe it's 1600-ish for everybody, and that is everything from our teeth to our eyes to getting sick. Outside of that, if you go get yourself some Obamacare.
On the website verywellhealth.com, they say, Medicaid is government-run health coverage provided to people with limited incomes, and the expansion of Medicaid is a major cornerstone of Obamacare.
So it's Medicaid. You have to go apply through Medicaid depending on what state you're in. It's weird. You feel weird. You're like, no, I'm making some decent money, but no, I got to go apply for low-income Medicaid and then get turned down by Medicaid to go into another portal to get to health insurance. It's going to be state dependent, so I would use Google to figure that one out. So I've been getting some questions about why I haven't grown my handyman business. I'm also been getting questions about how would I do it if I was going to do it. Now, I haven't ruled it out. I've been exploring different avenues lately. I've been forcing myself to go on estimates for the last 3 years, 4 years. Anytime I get a call, my answer is we don't have time in our schedule right now. It's kind of a hard concept to tell someone over phone or through text message, but lately I've been saying, let's schedule an appointment and I'll come give you an estimate. And that is introducing a lot more customers. This is where today's video sponsor comes in. To handle all these extra customers, I needed a way to manage them. Mainly because I'm booked months and months out. First thing I do when I get an email request or a text message request is I create a job request within Jobber. I gotta get their address, I gotta get their names. How many people have forgotten their customers' names? It's happened to me. I don't know how many times, but I know I gotta go to this address. What was their name? Let me call their voicemail. Let's see if they say, oh, you've reached Debbie. Since I started entering all these customers into Jobber, I've got them. How is that different than text message and email? I've got too many emails and too many text messages, and you're scrolling through a whole bunch of numbers, trying to open them, looking for Debbie and her moldy bathroom. Create a job request, plug in all their information, and you can refer back to it in 2, 3, 4 months when you get there. This latest one came in through a referral. Kind of lead into how I would expand is repeat business and referrals. Got to have those referrals. This estimate was for someone who knew nothing about construction. They didn't even know the materials in their house. At this stage of my career, there's just so much work coming in. I can pick and choose which projects and which customers to work for. Now you gotta be tactful about it because it can all crumble down if they all know each other somehow. How do you tell someone their project is a pain in the butt and you don't want to do it? How do you do that politely? So here are the reasons why I don't want to do that job. I've already mentioned they know nothing. They don't even know what tile looks like or feels like or what it's made of or how anybody would even cut tile. That creates another job for you. You have to educate the customer on timelines and what to expect during a full master bathroom renovation. You have to educate them. Some tile, I can use a special tile cutter right here and it creates no water, no dust. On other tile, I've got to make laps all the way up and down the stairs, out the front door, to the driveway, back in, back up the stairs, back through your bedroom and into the bathroom. Test fit, oh, doesn't quite fit, back downstairs. Set that expectation that there's a lot in and out. So time of the year, doing this in December or January, when it's wet and snowy out and I'm constantly in and out of your house, probably schedule this for spring or even late summer. Here's an example of a customer that I would jump at the chance to work for. Say it's the same master bathroom. You show up and they say, here's the tile we're going to use. We've already got the vanities purchased. They're in the garage. Here's the mirrors. Here's the light fixture. Don't worry about subcontracting out the glazing around the shower. My brother-in-law does it. They're very in tune with the process. They've already purchased things. You do have to go back and verify measurements. Will these vanities work? What's the tile spacing going to be like with the tile that they picked out? But they've got a better idea how things work. And that is something I would go out of my way to get on the schedule. So I got another question about how far I drive for work. The guy who submitted this question is thinking about moving further away from the city, but the work in the city is good. My experience has been not good with relocating further out into the suburbs or the country. I'd love to do it. It's my grand plan to do it, but it's not easy because there's no work out there. And the people who live out there often do their own work. And there's often a lot of guys like us that live further out in the burbs and out in the country, so competition is higher. For me, it would have been a pay cut to stay competitive with the competition, and the volume of work would have went down. That's something I had to consider, and it kept me in the city. Now here I am 4 or 5 years later, and still looking for a way to get out. And I've been saving and planning, and hopefully within 2-3 years, we can be out. I will probably still drive into the city to do work. And I've kind of been paying more attention to customers who live further on the outskirts. If you're from a major metropolitan area, you know that there's bubbles and there's rings around the city of like generations of development. So I've been focusing and shifting my attention to the customers who live further on the outside. Going into the inner city is chaotic these days. It's like The Walking Dead. If you know, you know. I'll still be coming into the metro area, but I'm focusing my attention to people who live on the further outskirted rings of the metro area and suburbia. They're easier houses to work on anyways. They're newer and they come apart like Legos. So the next question is another popular one. Do you do your own payroll and accounting, or do you pay someone to do it? Those of you who've been around the channel know that one of the best decisions I ever made was hiring an accounting firm to handle all my business regarding the filings for the S corporation, all the extra paperwork to do the taxes for an S corporation, the weight of the world lifted off your shoulders. So I pay someone to do it. If you're good at it, something that you like to do, maybe you can do it yourself. I choose not to do it myself, and it is awesome. If any of you are curious, that's a tenant of mine telling me they have moldy shoes in the basement closet. What gives, handyman? Have you had mold in your basement before? So that's a whole nother job. A whole nother part of my business is dealing with tenants. I've never had mold there before. I know that there's some different construction. We're very close because the houses are about this far apart. Something in drainage could have changed. Something could be a leak in the neighbor's house, could be a leak in the roof, could be a lot of things. If you're wondering where these questions came from, a lot of them came from Instagram. I put a post up, submit a question or two, and I'll answer them on video. Some of them come through Patreon. This guy asks, uniforms and logos on trailer trucks, trailer/trucks, yes or no, and why? I always went no. And for some of you, it's gonna be a hard no because you get thrown in jail by the undercover handyman op. There are certain locales in the country that don't want you to work unless you file a whole bunch of paperwork. You can't put logos on. I know down in Florida, there's ways around it. Worked down there for a long time, worked for other guys that have worked there for years and years and years and years. There's ways around it. If you're down in like Florida or California or New Jersey, if you have a logo to do anything, even change a light bulb, you gotta have a special license number underneath that with all sorts of detailed information about you. In my area, nobody cares what you do. The Home Depot parking lot is filled with guys with all sorts of magnetic stickers and fully wrapped trucks and vans. No license numbers need to be on, nothing like that. I was first getting started. I actually put away a section of money for marketing, and I was going to get my trailer wrapped. So whenever I would go into a neighborhood, everybody in the neighborhood would know what I was doing and how to get a hold of me. I never needed it. I always had work coming in just by referrals. You're also going to get people just calling you up.
What are your rates?
What's your hourly rate?
What's your hourly rate?
What's your hourly rate?
I don't like those customers. I like customers that were referred to me by another happy customer. How do you sort out the garbage property managers from the good ones that actually pay? And that's the same as saying, how do you find the good customers from the not good customers? Trial and error and time. It just takes time to find out who's easy to work for and who refers you. There's no cheat codes. It just takes time to weed through them. I've never run into a situation where someone didn't want to pay me. Not even close have I gotten to a situation. A good judge of character, a good judge of how your interactions go, should give you an idea if they're going to pay you or not. Check out the links in the description to get Jobber. Still getting questions all the time about what app I use. And of course, you should know it's Jobber. What does it do? It does everything to manage your business. That'll be linked in the description and the first pinned comment. If you're watching on mobile, you got to click a little down arrow to get to the full description and the comments. Do you want a caulk gun shirt? They'll be linked down there too. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.